Hi there, Blade Gang, and welcome back to another video. Today we have an interesting design by Real Steel from the designer Ivan Braginets, a Russian designer, I believe. And it is called the Rokot, not rocket, but Rokot, R-O-K-O-T. That translates roughly to English as boom or roar. And I think it's somewhat associated with a rocket that they developed as well in Russia. I am not 100% up on that. However, I do know that Ivan is a very prolific designer with designs, I believe, for Kaiser as well as Real Steel and as well as his custom blades. So we have a knife that is in N690, which Real Steel says is a step up from D2, and N690CO is a steel used very commonly by Fox knives, as you may know, and used also in the knives that Fox makes for Bastinelli. So just a little light background there for you. I've been meaning to do a review on this. In fact, I thought I had until I looked up my videos the other day and realized, no, that I hadn't. It is, I feel, a beautifully balanced in many respects in design as well as weight flipper. And it has, so they say, 3 methods of opening. Thumb stud, beautiful, snaps out, no problem whatsoever. Front flip, which I'll attempt and manage to pull off. And nail nick. So although I don't have any success in spidey flicking it, the nail nick traditionally is used on the old style knives where you needed some way to pull it open where it didn't have a thumb stud, slip joint knives and so forth. One thing you'll see that's very interesting is a pattern in the G10 and on the clip. It happens to be Morse code for the designer's name. Now whether that spells out his first and last name or just the last name, I think it spells out just the last name, but I'm not 100% sure. But that is Morse code, dots and dashes, and it's carried out across both sides of the G10 scales. It's kind of a classic looking drop point knife, very useful, pretty thick stock, but a beautiful continuous flat grind right down to a very sharp edge. The other thing you'll notice is that he doesn't use Torx, he uses flathead screws. So you can use any conventional medium to small screwdriver to disassemble this knife on both sides. You have a clip which is deep carry, very nice, very understated. You could even carry that in a shirt pocket and it would look like a pen clip. And it is reversible. Slips in underneath the liner there. On the blade, and this is a satin finish blade, you see the fuller there, which is also a nail nick, double thumb studs. Very nice looking jimping. It's not particularly aggressive, but it's workable, usable. You have a slight go forward position there on the handle, but normally you'd want to keep your fingers behind there. But again, you could choke up a little bit. No problem whatsoever. Just a beautifully designed knife. Let's take a look at the blade stock. going to be a little on the thicker side. Well, it's 3.6. I think it's has a lot to do with the way that they kept the thickness that gives it kind of a thick look. Exactly 1/2 inch on the handle. And let's see what we've got for overall length. A large-ish knife, but not really huge. I get 4 1/4 inches overall. And a lot of blade in that overall. You get 3 3/4 inch and a cutting edge of a little over 3 3/4 inch, closer to 4 inches. Very interesting. That means we've got a pretty good blade to handle ratio, as you can see. Perfectly centered, comes right up near the end of that handle, but no danger here. I'm not picking up the point at all. So, very well done. Interesting little shelf there for the front flipper. We have a back spacer of G10. And I've been missing out on showing you whether or not we've got weight relieving past few reviews. Let's see if we do. Yes, we have some very long slots, 2 of them on the show side, and 1 on the liner side, right in there. And looks like the other one up there above the liner lock. So speaking of weight, let's take a look at that. Very light, sub 4 ounces, just barely, 3.960. So for a knife with a blade close to 4 inches in a package that is only 8 1/4 overall and under 4 inches, we're right about at that ounce per inch mark. I don't know why that's some kind of grail, but everybody mentions it, so I'm mentioning it as well. Just a near perfect EDC package for this knife. It's thin enough where you don't even notice it. It's light enough where you don't notice it. Easy to disassemble with standard tools. Almost something you carry on your keychain with you. Beautifully smooth opening and closing. Almost drop shutty with a few shakes. Runs on bearings. And you can pick these up for somewhere around $75, so definitely a budget knife, but a quality budget knife. And good usable blade shape. You got a long straight run there with that beautiful gradual belly up to what is a drop point. I mean, it drops a little bit. I like it because that point's right on center. I got plenty of handle. Doesn't force you into any particular grip. Flat really on both sides with a little bit of chamfering here. Let's see how it stacks up against some of the usuals, just so you get a little bit of a comparison. There it is against the Griptilian. It is larger than the Griptilian. The overall's coming in pretty close. It's a longer blade, however. Hard to see in the way the camera gives you a perspective. I'm not directly over the top of these. I'm shooting from a little bit of an angle. It's almost identical in size to the Benchmade Freak. And it's probably going to be we'll see how it stacks up against the Rat 1. Very close. Rat 1's actually got a little longer handle and the same size blade, pretty much. The way they did this blade design, that edge comes way back, so you get a lot of edge for the blade. I think that's another important part of this design. But this is the Real Steel Rokot by Ivan Braginets. A great design. Check out some of his other designs and check him out at Ivan B Knives, or Ivan B Knife, I believe, on Instagram. Great designer. You'll see a lot of photos out there of his creations. And I hope you enjoyed this. Give it a like. Don't forget to subscribe. Keep on coming back. Take care now. This Old Sword signing out.